Okay, we'll start with the keys on this one. We've got the main key here, which you can unlock the central locking. So you've got the top button here, which unlocks the front cab. The bottom button unlocks the side and the rear door, and the center button locks them all. You've also got a normal key here, which you manually open the front door, and a small key here which does all the external small hatch doors, for example the toilet. Okay, so unlock the front and unlock the rear, and that's how you unlock it. First thing we come to on this side is you have two drain taps. The grey one drains the wastewater out of the wastewater tank, and the blue one drains the fresh water out of the freshwater tank. Both tanks are mounted underneath the floor. This compartment is for your cassette toilet waste tank. On this particular panel then, it has a tank mounted underneath the floor for the LPG. This is filled from this filler. You attach your LPG tank filler there, fill it up, and it should stop filling once the tank is full. The gauge for this tank on this model is mounted just here. There's a series of LED lights that illuminate. Obviously red is low, and this only works when the engine is running. So when you switch the engine on, you can see how much gas you have in your bulk tank. The mains electrics is plugged into this socket here. Under this bed you have your electrics control panel. So on this one you have 12 volt fuses here, mains electrics fuses here, and these buttons work the charger and the heating system. So generally just leave those on. And there's a 12 volt shutdown button there. If you need to put it into storage at all, just press that button, it clicks out and it will shut all the 12 volt system down. There's a fuse spur there that also works your boiler. So when you're using it on mains electrics, you need to have this switched on. Here is your frost protection lever to drain the water system down, the internal water system. So if it's been stored in cold conditions or it's really cold, you can open this, open all the taps, and it will drain the water out of the taps, the pipes and the water heater. Under this side you have the habitation battery in that red box. Wind out canopy. Before we wind this out, make sure it's safe to do so. If it's windy at all, it's probably not a good idea to wind it out, because the wind will take the canopy and it will damage it. So make sure this sliding door is closed. We take our winding handle and wind the canopy out as far as we want to. So when we've got the canopy wound out, you don't have to wind it all the way out. Release these legs, release this lever, and there we go. Release that, and we can move this up and down with the other leg to the desired height, and then we lock this into position. This is how we stow the legs back into position. There. And then just wind it back in again. So we have the water filler, which is a lockable cap. We just unlock the cap and then we fill it with the hose pipe or whatever you've got to fill it with. Generally a hose pipe is best. It's not a good idea to fill the tank to overflowing. I would always use the internal water gauge so that when you fill it to the required level, then you can just stop filling it with a hose. Side step controls are just here. This is where you fill your diesel from. You unlock the cap with the ignition key, and occasionally you'll have to fill the AdBlue when it indicates on the main control in the cab. Under the bed there's a plastic box which contains all your toolkit for taking wheels off and releasing the spare wheel underneath the floor of the rear of the vehicle. You also have tyre pressures there if you need to check those, and the bonnet pull is just there. So under the bonnet we've got the usual things. We've got your brakes there, we've got your coolant there, and we've got your power steering fluid there. Top the oil up through this cap here and check the oil level with the dipstick there. And just here is a little cap there. We release that and you fill your washer fluid through there. When inside the vehicle we need to switch the control panel on, so we do that via the on and off button. That switches the main control panel on, which powers up all your 12-volt systems. This button powers up your internal lights. This powers up your water pump for pumping the water from the tank into your water system, and this does your external warning light. To check levels such as water tank levels and battery power, press this button here so we can select temperature. There's your battery voltage, vehicle battery voltage, water tank levels. Fresh water is 0 and waste is 0 because we haven't filled them yet. Okay, and you've got various light switches in the vehicle to switch lights on and off. The heating system, you've got a blown air heater and you've got a water heater. The blown air heater controls are here, you can power them up on the gas. You switch the gas on, it will fire up on gas, and you set your temperature control there. If you need to use it from mains electrics, turn the gas off and touch the mains electrics. You've got 3 indicator buttons, 1, 2 or 3 kilowatt. We can adjust that by pressing and holding there. The same with the water heater, if we want to run that on gas or mains electrics there, and we can set the temperature there for warm or hot. Fridge controls on and off there. You can select mains electrics, gas or 12 volt. The 12 volt selection means that the fridge will only run off of 12 volt when the engine is running on the vehicle. It won't run at any other time. So you can use your gas or your mains electrics while you're stationary, and the 12 volt when the engine is running and you're travelling. And then you just adjust the temperature there. Okay, and then to switch it off, hold it in. This particular vehicle's got a roof mounted solar panel. The solar regulator is in this locker here. There's a little rocker switch there. You can select it to charge the leisure battery or the vehicle battery separately via this little rocker switch. So if you need some power in the vehicle battery to allow you to start it every time, you can just leave it on that top one there. Okay. Right, so probably haven't covered everything on this vehicle, but on the 2021 models there is an instructional video on the Auto Trail website. Any other queries, just contact our after sales department and we'll do our best to give you any information we can. Thank you.